What's up, guys? It's your girl Felicia, and I just want to ask y'all a question real quick. So, you know that first stretch, that first moment when you realize it's time to get up? That first stretch doesn't feel so good. As a matter of fact, it's hard. And I don't care what anybody says, and I don't care who tells you that it's easy. It's not. It's not. Because you're fighting your way back. You're trying to figure your way out of whatever it is. You're in the middle of mapping out your bounce back. And you're wrestling with God. And all the while you're stretching and you're being stretched because you shouldn't be wrestling. You know, you should be resting. You should be resting in what God has for you, which is the biggest and the best, which is everything that our hearts desire. Yet we're stuck in some of these old thought patterns, some of these old stories, some of these old narratives. Because here's the thing, we can stay stuck in our old story so long that it becomes our current story. We can be that old man for so long in our head that our current circumstances begin to look like his or hers. But now it's time for us to stretch and go beyond. Because life is meant for us to live it and explore and have this big, beautiful experience. Sure, tears are shed along the way, but that's part of the stretch too. See, we're being called to do way more than what we've been doing. Think about it. If you're thinking about all of the things that you have to deal with every day just to get by now, think about what it will be like if we continue to put off our true purpose. Think about that. Working 286,000 hours a week is not going to get you closer to purpose. Working 286,000 hours a week is not going to get you closer to bridging the gap. As a matter of fact, it's going to get you further away because you're too tired to figure anything else out. All you can do is work and work and work just to get by. And that's not what was intended for. We were never intended to be last. We were never intended to be last. But maybe we needed to know what it felt like to be last in order how it feels, in order to really appreciate what it will feel like when we're first. Because it's coming. It's coming, but we got to take the first stretch. We got to take the first stretch, and that's the scary part. Because it doesn't feel good. It feels different. We know what it's like doing what we're already doing. We know what it's like feeling what we're already feeling. We know what the struggle is like. We know what it's like dealing with, financial challenges. We know what that's like. That's not the boogeyman jumping from behind the corner. We know him already. We are on a first name basis with the boogeyman. We know what it's like being in these toxic relationships. That's not the boogeyman. We're on a first name handshake basis with toxic relationships. That's not foreign. What is foreign to us is living in peace and living in flow. And that's what we've got to figure out so that this stretch is worth it, because we can't take the stretch and then go back to everything that we were already doing. And we got to remember that the stretch is not for us. It's for the generations that come after us, because think about it. Somebody right now is trying to figure out what their stretch looks like. Somebody is trying to figure out what this thing looks like when they get back up. They're trying to figure out, okay, when I get back up, God, what is it that you have me to do? How is it that I get closer to my purpose? What is my purpose? Somebody has those questions right now, and they need to see you get on here and ease your way into that stretch. Speaking of easing your way into the stretch, YouTube is on easy mode right now. Did you know that? Did you know that? That is the creator's hidden secret right now. For those of you who need to bridge the gap and make sure that you show the world that it can be done, YouTube is on easy mode so that you can ease your way into it. Because that's another thing. Getting on here and being vulnerable, that's not easy. That's not easy. It takes a lot. And so YouTube has this whole different business strategy right now where you don't have to put so much thought into it. You don't have to, focus on all of this extreme production value and, coming up with all of these different, scenes and setups and equipment and all. You can turn your iPhone on, whatever phone you use. Okay. I'm an iPhone girly, but you can turn your iPhone on and literally change your life. But we've got to take that first stretch. And that's not easy. I get it. It's hard. But what is the alternative? Because we got to get back up. We got to get back up. We cannot continue to lie dormant on what God has said and what God has for our lives. We can't continue to lie dormant because there are so many people who are maybe looking for an example. And sure, man shouldn't be the example. Let's not get that twisted. No, man should not be the example. However, you don't know what God is sending you to do. Okay? So, and you don't know what you can be to a person. You might find a tribe. You might fool around and find a tribe of 5, or you might find a tribe of 5,055. You never know. You might find a tribe of 5 million. But you've got to take that first stretch. You've got to take that first step. We got to get back up again. Everything that we were praying for and asking for and hoping for when we were laying there planning our comeback, thinking about planning out what we would do when we got back up. Maybe we did not factor in that it would take that first stretch, because you definitely can't bounce back until you're mentally ready, until you're physically ready, until you're spiritually ready. You got to be able to create from a place of love, a place of gratitude. You've got to be able to create from a place of just childlike curiosity. It's almost like you got to be a child again, which is good. Because sometimes we need to go back to our inner child. We need to go back and talk to that person that was courageous, that person that didn't mind, trying things out and being, a daredevil. And we're not saying that you got to go and climb all these mountains and you got to start bungee jumping and you got to start, jumping out of helicopters and, take up, being a tightrope artist. It's not saying that, but it is saying, let's think outside of what we've been doing. And let's give the world an example of what it looks like to jump out there and do something other than what we've been doing. And yeah, it's scary. And we're going to talk about that fear later. But right now, we're going to talk about the stretch. We owe it to ourselves. So let's take our time. Let's ease in it. Let's find our own flow. Find our own flow. Everybody's stretch doesn't look the same. That's another thing. We got to stop comparing ourselves to what other people are doing out there. Again, we'll talk about that in another one. But let's take that first step. Let's take that first stretch. And again, getting on YouTube is a great exercise, even if you just do it for yourself, because guess what? Everybody's not a YouTuber, but, you might paint. You might be an artist. Turn the camera on. Turn that phone towards you sketching some stuff out. Talk it out while you're sketching. What are you feeling while you're sketching or singing or writing a song or building, finding all of the beautiful leaves while you're taking a walk. Whatever it is, it doesn't matter. Did I tell y'all that YouTube is on easy mode? And again, that's not for everybody. But if you're thinking about how you're going to bridge the gap, it's something to consider, especially if you have something to offer. I mean, we're not talking about just get up here and just do whatever. But give the world what you've been given to give the world. But yeah, it still requires that first stretch, right? So we're not going to get ahead of ourselves. We're not going to get ahead of ourselves. We're going to work on that first stretch. We're going to get back up again. We're going to get our mind together. We're going to get our hearts together. We're going to get our bodies together. We're going to get our spirits together. We're going to get that smile ready. We're going to get that comeback story ready. We're going to get that I remember when story together. We're going to get that I remember when I was scared of that first stretch. Oh, you're going to be able to tell that story soon. So, I love you guys. I'm ready to do it with you. So, let's go. It's your girl, Felicia. Do me a favor. Give me a comment, comment on the way out. Let me know where you are in your journey. Let me know where you are in your stretch. What does it look like? How are you putting this thing together? What does that smile look like? When you get back up, what does that day look like? What does your offering to the world look like when you get back up? Let me know in the comments. I would love to know because we're building this thing together, right? And on your way out, hit subscribe. All right. Love you guys. It's your girl, Felicia. Until the next video, and I'm out.